A very good evening, folks, and welcome to a very special broadcast on the road to AFC National Conference 2024. Yours truly, Sherrod Duncan, and we have with us Jarita Fernandez. I am the General Secretary of the Alliance for Change. Jarita is our Assistant General Secretary, and we are going to be joined by our Vice Chair, Ricky Ramsarup. I think. Jarita, welcome.
Thank you, Shared. Good night to all the viewers out there. It's always a pleasure to be here and speaking with you guys, particularly when it comes to what we do best, what we do every day, what we've dedicated our lives to, and made all the sacrifices away from our families and friends, and we've completely changed the course of our life to make sure that we represent you, the people in Parliament and in politics generally. So it's always a pleasure to be here speaking with you guys.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, I will say this. Um, we didn't really want to come in the program, but I miss you all. I couldn't wait till Monday to talk to you all again. So I found a way, I devised a way to be able to come on and talk with Ngwasi Griffith and Lennox Anderson and Sandra Ford and Abida Monroe and all you beautiful folks. I devised a way. We're going to be talking with some about what's happening with National Conference 2024, the Alliance for Change National Conference, our brothers and sisters in the People's National Congress Reform. They have a national conference, a national congress on as well next weekend. It's from the 28th to the 30th. And so it's a big weekend for politics in Guyana.
That is correct, this is the more important part when it comes to politics because you a lot of times persons see us out there, particularly persons that are in the National Assembly, and we believe that in national politics it's all that matters. But when it comes to the party politics, I think that that's the foundation, that's the pillar, that's where we need to exemplify that which we ask for at the national level. So definitely, I believe the
Yeah.
national political platform is where we need to be more crisp in what we do and how we set forth to make sure that our country is better and better managed in all of that.
Correct is right. And you know what? I will do one better than that. Not only the party politics, that is very important, but it's the politics even before you meet the party politics, Jarita, because I didn't meet you in party politics necessarily. I think if memory serves me correctly, I'm not that advanced as yet. But if memory serves me correctly, I met you first at the University of Guyana, where we met in student politics there.
I think we hinted at it a few times, definitely, but we did meet at the level of UGSS elections, and I think that's UG it's actually a very excellent training ground when it comes to nurturing political minds, and a lot of the persons that's in politics today. I know Cameras Ramjitan oftentimes say that that is the one of the things that he did whilst at the University of Guyana, also. But yes. For the persons who did not know, that's where
Hold,
I
hold on,
first
hold on, Rita, hold
crossed
on. Just
paths.
before you go there, Vice Chair Ricky Ramsey, give us a wave if you're ready. I can see you in the green room. Good. I think he's ready. Welcome, Ricky. Good
Now,
to
guys,
have you there, and all the other folks who are joining us this evening. Rita was just telling us about where we first met before party politics. Bigger than that, I dare say, bigger than party politics was politics at the University of Guyana. And you know,
Yeah.
Ricky, if you made it on GWLT stage, you can make it any place.
that's right. That's right. The fight is really there. There's a big
Yep,
fight.
Yeah, but
yep,
it's quite interesting because I believe that there's a lot of strength in having to come through the political levels like that, coming from the grassroots levels, building your way up into party politics. Because like Sher was rightly saying, we would have tried our hands out and practiced a lot of party politics at university level, and I believe shared it was in 2009 that you won that UGSS election, if I'm not
yes, believe it or
mistaken.
not, seemed like a lifetime
Yes.
ago. 2009.
And,
Student
and
president.
Ricky, And guys, you will not believe it, but we were on very much opposing teams. You know, Sherrod contested in with the revolutionaries back then, and I was
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the United Students Alliance. We had our colleague Ganesh Paul from the PNC. He was with the Student Factor. So
yeah.
we were all there, you know, maneuvering the board when it comes to the political plays and learning our our best from that level. But even more importantly, I think one of the things that give us a lot more experience is our involvement when it comes to the local government politics. And I think that the value that I got from that cannot be taken away. I cannot overemphasize the amount of knowledge you get making sure that you deal with the grassroots politics and the ordinary Guyanese out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to say to you,
What
both of
is
you,
your political background, Ricky Ramsey, Vice Chair of the Alliance for Change?
before I get to your political background, I want to tell y'all this. In 2009, I remember there was this fine, bald head looking guy. I was doing my MBA then. Come in and lobby
Oh,
my batchmate that we are running for president of the UGSS. So, guys, it was such a, we never know that we are to be together. We never know our destiny. We never knew that we will be in
correct,
parliament together. We never know we will
Uh-huh.
be the same
correct.
political party, but you come and lobby for me for vote for you. And I said, yes, we will support you. And that is great. And it's just amazing that times just match back, you know what I mean, to what we
Yeah,
have,
here
you
we
guys have
are.
came to. And here we
And
are.
you know, Twitter, you would know when you have to go before the master's class to make a pitch, you
Oh,
want to make sure you're sharp because you know that this is
Absolutely.
correct.
the student game play.
Because let me be honest with y'all, we saw the nervousness in y'all, and we wanted to give y'all a hard time, but we say, you know what? Let them guys come and do their thing. And we give you all the situation. I remember that, of course, because when you guys leave, we were chatting with ourselves. We said, you know, we could have really pumped these guys down with a little tough questions, you know. But
Yeah,
guys,
yeah,
look, you guys did excellent. My political career, Jarita Sherrod, you know, I came from the PVP. You know, I started with the PYO. They were grassroots. I was not a fly-by-night politician, like them fellas that got minister job and them things. So now, you know, I came from the grassroots. I used to tell them in Parliament, I say, y'all don't know about the politics and the PPP. And you know, I spent like about 10 years there, from PYO, to launching my group in where I'm living. Um, I had Donna Ramatar who came there, you know, and it came like that. So I spent about 10 years there, come up right up the rank up to district chairman. But and then 2014, um, you know, we had to really make decisions to where the country really wanted to be. The
yeah.
corruption,
Everybody did.
yeah, the corruption was so much, the vindictivism was so much. People were fed up. They wanted to change. They wanted to have a third force, and the other change was the best party and the right party to be among that because it shows that diversity. You got to remember this, you know, the diversity of the party was so important. And I'm proud to say now I am also 10 years in the AFC, in the making and still going. So it becomes like a home, guys, you know, to where politics is. We are the future.
Excellent, excellent. And it's been a privilege serving with you guys in the Alliance for Change. I've been at it for a little while, right around somewhere around 2009, 2010. My interest grew in the Alliance for Change, hearing this party of a difference, and I begin to draw closer and closer and closer party. With a lot of lawyers in it. That's one thing that piqued my interest. I was reading law by then, and the rest is history. We've been at it ever since, serving at various levels in this party, bringing us to this point in our political history, not only of the Alliance for Change, but of this country. And I think all of us and all the other people we serve with, all the hardworking persons of the Alliance for Change,
Mhm.
all of our destinies are intertwined because 10, 15 years ago, nothing could tell us that we'd all be in the same boat, trying to head in the same direction. But here we are. Here we are. How you guys been preparing for National Conference 2024 as we shift gears?
Sure, just shifting gears really quickly tonight. National Conference 2024. This is actually my fourth national conference in the Alliance for Change, and
Oh, wow.
again, just yes, my fourth national conference, and my very first, believe it or not, my very first was in 2017. That national conference, I was a member of the Alliance of Change. Actually, I joined the party in 2011, June of 2011. Never forget it. You know, we had the campaign going on, and we had these prominent figures coming, Raphael Trotman, Kemraj Ramjatan, and all those prominent figures coming up, and they went up to Bartica in June, and my brother was already a part of the party, so he encouraged me to attend a meeting where I was convinced, and I joined the party then. But at that time, you know, a lot of the politics, especially when it comes to being local, and people say all politics is local, and that is a very true statement. And being there in Bartica, you don't play a role in the national politics. It wasn't
Yeah.
until later on that I had that opportunity to play a role in the national politics. But my first national conference was in 2017, and I would never forget it. I came, and I was and I was so impressed with the democracy in the Alliance for Change. And that year, our team was fully on board, and we were like, Raphael Trotman is going to be the leader of the party come this at the end of the 2017 national conference. And at the end of the 2017 national conference, indeed, Raphael Trotman did emerge a winner, and so we all felt really good. And the most amazing part is like at the end of it, Kemraj Ramjatan, knowing that
Uh-huh.
fully well that he did not get our support, he was still very much embracing to us as young people in the party, and he was always
Hope
there
you
to
guys are hearing
mentor
us
us
now. Hearing me now.
moving. Yes, and he was right there to make sure that he mentored us going forward. So I
Pretty.
Uh-huh.
thought that
Um,
was the most amazing point.
Sarah, do you want to fix the song before? I don't know.
Yes, I think it's fixed now.
Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
fixed now?
I think so. Go right ahead.
Is I don't know what was missed. I hope that it was not a lot, because I was just going through the national
I think I
conference.
think I think it was me. I think y'all were being heard. I think it was me.
Okay, great, great. So that was one of the most impressive things to me, to look at the fact that we can go out there and we can support one candidate outright, and the end of it, all that was put to rest, and we were embraced by all of the other candidates that we basically opposed at that 2017 national conference. And moving forward, we didn't see much difference in the party. We always go forward. There's a lot of competition within and so forth, and I encourage everyone that to keep it civil, you know. And I always say that when we go and we campaign, make sure that you criticize and you critique based on the work or lack thereof that is being done, but let us never get personal in party politics. It is not something that we should strive for at any level, particularly when it comes to internal party politics, because I think that does a lot more damage than at the national level. So we have to be able to compete in a very rational, structured manner, and then at the end of it, may the better man or woman win. And I can say, I want to just chip in and say for the share that Ricky just spoke about diversity, and it has been the story of my life when it comes to sitting around the table as the only woman at so many different levels. And it's no different even when it comes to the committee levels at Parliament. I am on the Public Accounts Committee. I'm the only female on the opposition side. Thankfully, there we have another female in Gail to share on the PPP side. I'm at the level of the Economic Service Committee, which I'm the only woman in the entire committee. And I remember even at the local government level, I serve as a councillor there, the Bartica Bay and Town Council. I was the only woman there on the Works Committee. So I've had a history of being the only woman in the mix, and it gives a sense of pride I welcome the opportunity and the challenge that comes forward with these things, because at the end of the day, diversity is extremely important. Not just when it comes to gender, particularly when it comes to ethnicity, when it comes to social classes, the socioeconomic movements that we have within our country. We need to have persons that understand those concepts very well as we move forward to a unified Guyana. So we need not just talk about it, we need to exemplify those characteristics as we move forward.
Excellent. And as you're on that, that is one of the sticking points. Diversity and the
Yes.
Alliance for Change has always demonstrated that, especially in its top leadership. And, I hope this year is no different and we continue to exemplify that as a party. We are a multiracial party, we are a multi-religious party as well. I heard many years ago the term multi-viewing. You have differing views, and we in our party we call it liberal democracy. Every man has a voice.
Yeah. I wanna start from where Jorita mentioned the only woman, and I'm saying I am proud to have you, such a young woman, and with a vibrant, balancing this two head besides you here on your left and your right, sometimes to steer the dynamics and to what we really want to accomplish, and we are proud of you. We're very much proud of you.
Correct,
Um,
correct. And I'm
yeah,
happy that all of us have served at varying levels of the party. We all serve in the National Assembly, and we have similar backgrounds in terms of university coming through the ranks at local government. I served as a councillor, city hall, and a deputy mayor. That seemed like a lifetime ago, and served in
yeah.
various other levels in the party as well before coming into the top leadership.
And that's right, and that's a very good point, Sharon, because I also serve as a counselor, come right up the ranks. And comrades, I always remember you saying if you wanted to really get into politics, start at a lower level. And we have come up to the rank. I remember my position as our local party in the East Coast, from vice chairman, from a member to vice chairman to chairman, and then to the councillors, and you come up the ranks. So you get to learn the really grassroots politics and to understand the dynamics of how people think. What are the issues? How can we address those issues? And before we go on, sure, I don't know if it's possible to share our numbers, but Nicole LaRoche, you're welcome to join the Alliance of Change.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
All are
ask Sharon if you
welcome.
can share our
All are
numbers.
welcome. All are
Share,
welcome.
share our numbers so we have
And
an
my
online
my
forum.
my my number 627-6963 is the one number we have for all of our broadcasts and platform. Hit us up
Right.
there. You say you want to become a member, we get a membership form to you, and we take it from there. We
Absolutely.
take it
Absolutely.
from there.
So as Jurisa said, this is also my third national conference. You're one before me, which is good. It's such an experience, and I remember how exciting these national conferences
You
be.
better
And
be respectful to your party elders, Ricky.
I am very much so, very much so.
Excellent.
This national conference, it brings a passion. That's how I see it. It brings a passion, a vibe. It brings the whatever inside of you outside. And the competition is so nice to have a competition because you can't have a selective process. When you have a selective process, it doesn't make sense. And that's how I see it. And I like the competition. I like that we can be very competitive. We have came the ground. We are showing the diversity as we go along, and we keep our brother and sisterhood, and that is what we do. Um,
Correct.
National conference is so key. I mean, you're gonna have ups and downs, but it happens in every
I
other
want
part.
to underscore that, Ricky, that competitiveness,
Yeah,
because you know what? It makes us better people at the end of the day
that's right.
when you earn your political stripes. If we had just gone into UG, for instance, and somebody said, "Oh, you're handsome or you can talk well," and take you just as president, then I would have learned nothing about the experience. But when you meet strong forces and personalities like Ganesh Mahi Paul there, we meet strong personalities like Jarita, and they start to apply the pressure. You either make it or you break. You know.
Yeah.
So
Teresa,
I
my
want to underscore that that's very important. Political
yeah,
competition in any sphere, whether it's at the university level or in a political party like ours, or even the PNCR, is very, very important. The internal political process.
Absolutely. And look, I want to say that the competitions is always how do I put it? It's always interesting to see the vision, and the vision is what we have to focus on. The vision of our country. Political party here, Sharon, which I learned over the years, is not about you and me and Jurita. It is about the people of Guyana. That is where we are,
Correct.
and that is where we stand for. We have
And
to.
I think one of the commonalities between all of us here tonight is the fact that we simply want to build this party.
Correct.
I harbor no higher aspirations right now in my political career, none at all. I just simply want to dedicate my time, my energy, and my focus building this political party and fashioning, helping to be part of fashioning it into a fighting force, the tip of the spear, as it were, as we continue to confront the PPP with the eye of heading back into government very, very shortly.
Well,
Yeah.
that's exactly how we need to think about politics, because politics is not it's not a one man show at all, and it's always collective efforts in order for us to achieve anything at the end of the process. And one of the things that I have tremendous respect for is teamwork. So I know that I've been working along with some exceptional persons within the Alliance of Change, within the various regions, alongside you guys and our founder leaders and so forth, and the exceptional guidance that we had the opportunity of having over the years that has brought us to this point where we are today. Now, as Ricky was rightly saying, that this is about not about an individual, it is about party at this moment, and as we move forward, it will be about country. But I think it's one of the things that I keep a question that I have to be addressing for the longest. I would say the longest month or so, what seems like the longest month, is the difference between the party politics and the national politics. And it's very important that persons understand that the process that we're undertaking right now, this is
Mhm.
internal party elections. This is not a national election by any means whatsoever. And it's very important that a political party have checks and balances, and particularly when it comes to the fact that we are looking at a national election in 2025, and we need to make sure that we have a strong system in place that will be holding our leaders accountable at the end of the day. I know that those are things that are very important, and political parties would have made a lot of mistakes in the past and so forth. But one of the things that we definitely need to keep pressing forward with is to make sure that we have a system in place that is going to acknowledge the ordinary working class within the party, first of all, and then at the national level. Doesn't make sense for us to go out there and tell people that we are going to be working towards having a strong policy towards making sure that the working class is looked after, unless we first do that internally within our party. So those are the things that we definitely need to be pushing and championing those causes all together. That's why I spoke just now, when I was talking about diversity. I said it's not just diversity in gender, not just diversity in ethnicity, but I think it is paramount that we have diversity when it comes to socioeconomic background, because those things are things that were easily overlooked. And I can say this, and I you have to walk the path in order to first understand what
Yeah.
is needed to fix the challenges that are coming with those persons. So I feel very, very strongly about those things, and that's one of the things that I intend to champion as I move forward in both this campaign and further on.
Excellent. I see we have a number of folks who are joining us. I see Marilyn King is here. I see we have Bantu King and Beatrice Selby. Judy, some of these names are familiar to you. Jennifer
Very much.
Albert and lots of the other folks joining us. I didn't prep you all for this other part of the program, but I know you've said it, that we all hold respective offices. Yours truly being the General Secretary of the Alliance for Change, and Jurita is the Assistant General Secretary, who works me very hard, very hard. And then Ricky is our vice chair. So we all hold, as I said, very substantive positions in the party. We want to continue to build this party, build it with depth and breadth, so that we can continue to eke out that space and claim that space in the national landscape of this country as we continue to confront a very, very marginalizing and discriminatory government and regime with a view of heading back into office the shortest possible time. That's what we want to do. But we have not taken our eyes off the ball. One of the things we discussed at the last national conference is going back to the ground, Jarita, talking to the people on the ground. I didn't prep you all for this, but tell me if you all could remember, for instance, this moment. What was
This
happening here? This
Yeah,
moment goes hand in hand with this one here. So
yes.
tell us a
oh
little bit,
wow.
if you all remember, what was happening here. Where were you
Yeah, yeah. That is, we
when
were
these
trying
pictures were
to
taken?
listen to me. We were trying to balance the plane, if I recall, because when we
Who was trying to balance? I can't remember that part of it.
yeah, I was at the back. I was at the back balancing the plane.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was our Region One visit, Sharada. I'm happy that you brought that out there because I mean I just make a note when Jurita was talking that the AFC has evolved. The AFC has evolved from being what you call I don't want to use a term here, but I recall one time when we were setting application or advertisement in the newspaper asking for members, and that is
Mhm.
what really built the AFC. And we have now taken it to another level. And that particular show shows us that we went on the grassroots. And I said boots on the ground because that is where our politics have to
Yeah,
be. And I'm
yeah,
as I promise you, and I promise Jurita that we're gonna walk the ground, we're gonna walk the drain.
and we
I'm
gonna
gonna go
fly in the air too.
trenches with you. I will go in the nasty trenches with you, and we're gonna do what is necessary because I grew up as from a poor family. I know what is poverty, and I know the hardship that people are going through, and that is what we have to all build. You understand me? We have to build from there. That is where, if you look at, Jurita can say more than this than I do, that if you look at our poverty level, it is going climbing over 50%. In an oil-rich country, and this is where we as a young one have to get the zest, the power, the strength, the energy to walk this ground that Kemraj has walked, as Sheila has walked, as
Mhm.
Raphael has walked. You understand me? And we will take that power and we're gonna take that stride to ensure
Yeah.
that we continue to build this party.
So there we were. Ricky, your function in the party is groups and outreaches and that kind of stuff. And we put out there that notice that we wanted to go into Region 7, says Region 1, Port Kaituma. I'm getting ahead of myself. Region 1, Port Kaituma. And, it's always treated the hard way. I like being in different places in this country, but I don't like flying, especially these small aircrafts that sometimes feel as though they want to fall out the sky. And as Ricky said, we were trying to balance the plane there. But talking to the folks in various communities in Region 1, re-engaging members of our party who have fallen away from one reason or the next over the last 4, 6 years, re-engaging them because, as we said, we have a very, very keen interest in building this party from the ground up. You can't just parachute in. And this is the inglorious work. This is the work that happens lots of time away from the camera. These were some of the archives we went back in to try to find some of this. This is the work that people don't see. A lot of people like the flashing lights, like meeting with the ambassadors. That's an important part too. Meeting with the diplomatic communities, having press conferences. People see that the glitz and glamour of politics, the sexy part of politics, as it were. But this is the backbreaking work. Community after community, village after village, going out there and talking to people, as Comrade Ramjadan says, making the arguments, as
Yeah.
to how this country should be moving forward and our own place in this landscape, in this political landscape of this country as the Alliance for Change. So that's part of what we were doing there in Region 1. And let me dominate for a second. That's Port Kaituma. I had the great privilege, and in other programs like this, we'll talk some more about it, of being at Mabaruma, which is also Region 1,
Yeah.
late last year, just as the Venezuelans were about to do that referendum, I was there in Mabaruma talking to party members, talking to members of the public. I was quite surprised that so few government officials had gone in there to brief the residents who are very, very afraid, and they had all the right to be, knowing what was just close to the horizon there in places like Imbatiro and Yarakito and Barbina there in Region 1, Mabaruma sub-region. Yeah,
Yeah, Shard, one of the things about going on the ground, there's value, and I think that there's a significant amount of respect that you show for the members and the residents, members of the party and the residents of the community at large when you actually go and speak to them one on one, because we have grown somewhat accustomed to a system and a country in which you just see persons coming around when it's election time, soliciting votes, and that I think we give a whole lot more respect to individuals when you go out there and you meet with them and you work with them in the tough times, and you sit and you listen to them to make sure that you fully understand what they're going through. So at the end of the day, you are putting things in place and systems in place. You are very capable now because you are equipped with the information directly from those persons, first-hand information, so that you can formulate policies that are going to be beneficial to them altogether. The problem that we've been having throughout the years in Guyana is that persons rely so much on you go out there and you solicit votes at an election time, but then you do not understand the real issues that are coming out of those communities and from those persons when you treat politics like that. And it's a disservice not only to the work that you can do for them, but it's completely a disservice to the people that you are actually soliciting those votes from. I
yeah,
find tremendous value in actually having the opportunity to speak with person one on one over the years to make sure that they know that we understand fully what they're going through. And a lot of the times also I can say that coming not coming from an upper class or upper middle class level, one of the things that I find that I'm not disconnected from reality, particularly the reality of the working class. And I think that there's tremendous value in that. We have to project ourselves as in a way that we do not stand in the shadows, or we do not be the replacement for the people that we condemn. And a
yeah,
lot of criticisms we give out there when it comes to the way in which the working class is being handled and being managed. So we
Yeah.
definitely need to put ourselves in their shoes, make sure that we understand their struggles, because that is what would make us different from the current government that we have today.
correct.
Again, I'm going to bring it back and say party politics is where it matters. When you build that
All
foundation,
politics is local.
all
So let me see
politics
if you
is
all
local.
remember. Let me see if you all remember this moment here, because we don't have the luxury in politics. It cannot be. You take some time off and then you come back. By the time you do that, the whole dynamics have changed. We don't have that luxury. Every day you got to be at it, especially when you face a foe like the PPP. Evil don't take a day off. They don't take a couple years off. You have to be at it day and night, day and night, day and night, day and night, because our people's lives are at stake, and we can't, roll on that. And if we feel like it now, and you make a go at it, and if somebody get you wrong, you gone about your business, you pick up your bat and your ball, and you're gone. So I don't know if these moments. This is region 2 for clue.
Correct.
It's region vice chair.
Yeah, I recall this here, Sharad, and I remember that we don't only this was our party group executive RMC meeting, and then right after that you have to go back because the guy on the right, extreme right here, his daughter has passed away, and then you have to get back on the region too. And those are the things, Sharad, that you must give credit for, because the energy and time, people don't understand the sacrifice that you make, and you have to go back early in the morning to ensure that you show support to our comrade, because to lose a loved one is not easy, and you just can't come fly by night and you hug up and take a pictures. It is built in as a family. It's something that you have to reach out to. and you have to earn that. You don't get it fly by night. You have to earn that. You have to be with them. You have to understand their feelings, and we have done that over the last several. I would say more than 2 years ago, about 4 years, 5 years ago, we started doing that. And you since 2020,
Yeah.
actually, Karen, you if you can recall, our first one we went was industry, and we left Parliament. We left Parliament. We leave Parliament, and we end up in industry but those were they were going to take these people land at the back there, and they had some vultures. They had some vultures that were taking people lands, private lands, and to make it their own personal one. And it is the
We've been
groundwork
at
is
it.
yeah the
We've been at
groundwork
it. And
is so
that's
important.
confronting. That's what I said. That's what I meant, rather, when I said that we have to confront this PPP government. We don't have the luxury of taking some time off, a year
Yeah,
or two or so, right? You pay $4,800 and you come back and you want everything. We don't have that luxury. The PPP don't sleep, they don't rest. That's wickedness for you. That's darkness. That's evil for you. And we don't have that luxury. And we have been at it. And as you said, we've been to Essequibo, I think, more times than we can count, not only on official party business like that, but meeting with party members individually. As we said, part of it is building back. A lot of people have been quiet in the AFC for whatever reason over the last 6 years. Some people have fallen away, and part of the mandate we received from the last national conference is
mhm,
going back to the grassroots, and that is what we have done. Now, as I said, these are some of the political moments, and a lot of people don't run and sign up for and say, "Make me leader here." But when a political comrade has a death in his family, we try to be there. Sometimes it's a financial need in that family. We try to be there as well, because this politics must be real. If you're in a political party and you have a death in the family and nobody comes to see you, won't you feel some way? And that's a sad political tale we learned, a sad political story we learned. For instance, when we were in Port Kaituma, we lost a very dear member of the Alliance for Change, and she had some very harsh words for leaders in our party on her deathbed, because she felt very, very forsaken, as it were. She felt neglected. And when I heard that story, I purposed in my heart that I would do different as a leader. I can't say
correct.
what the sacrifice of Jarita and Ricky must be, but I could say what my own sacrifice as a leader in the Alliance of Change will be, that we will be there for our membership, whether they have a debt in their family, whether they have a financial need. And my God, it's great in this harsh economic time in this country. And we have to find ways and means. I'm a church boy too. And one of the things I learned very early, here my pastor banging our heads, is that the price of leadership is not saying things cannot be done, but making things happen. And I've dedicated my life to make things happen, and not just drop my hand, walk away, and then say I can't do nothing, and come back when things are good.
Yeah, but one of the things I want to say when it comes to region number two is that the Alliance of Change is privileged to have a phenomenal unit there in region two. We have had persons there working tremendously over the years, and they have not wavered. They have not given
Yeah,
up at all. And you would understand, persons that understand the dynamics of politics in Guyana, that when it comes to the base, national base, which party holds more strength there within the region and so forth, and that's a very vindictive party. So to have our local leaders there in region two hold strong and do the phenomenal job that they continue to do, we are extremely grateful,
yeah.
and we
Keep
are
holding it down.
we're proud.
Keep,
We're extremely
keep holding
proud
it
of
down.
those persons, and
And
we will continue to give support to them in every way, shape, or form as they continue to do the heavy lifting there at the local level. Because again, I'm going to say that it is the persons that are at the very lowest level within the political party that does the most work. Those are the
correct.
people that needs to be given tremendous credit at the end of the day. And I think that we definitely need to, not just in the Alliance of Change, but generally in political parties and within our country, we generally need to make sure that those are the persons that we think of and remember first when we
Yeah.
are looking forward.
Before before we transition from region two, I just want to say that in addition to the formal party work that we do, we were there, for instance, when the market burned down there in Charity and vendors were displaced. I mean, you might say charities, PPP, spending a time with them, but you got to be there if you're interested in people. You have to be there, and we were there, talking to those vendors in not so uh, far back. We were also there at Kupui when the residents there had an issue with the Tushao, who they say weren't working in their interest. It was a PPP to show there, and not want to give an account for the monies and the spending and the stewardship and tenure. And we were there to listen. When people call, you have to go. People call us individually. People call me individually, say, "Sharon, I need you to come. I got some problem here." What do you do? They say, I'm on a sabbatical. Wait till I come back. No, you gotta pack up your bags, tie your shoelaces, and just go. I want to push ahead in the interest of time. Another moment, we're going to come back to some other things happening for national conference. But another moment, see if you all might remember this. It kind of speaks for itself. But let me see. I think the sound is out here. I think the sound is out here, right? I think the sound is out in this one. But I have never seen a protest I didn't like. Now these are free events. You don't have to have an invitation. When you hear some rustling on the borders and you start, this is my country, I gotta speak up for it, and I hear Paul Slow and company in front, Ricky, you some part of the country, Jarita, some part of the country doing business too in this fashion. You gotta go out there and lend your voice. You don't have to have an invitation.
I think one of the things that we can pull out from those things is that a lot of times a lot of people are more so reserved in their in come and don't want necessarily to come forward when it comes to having to make a political statement and all of that. And that is okay because we understand the dynamics out there and so forth. The only issue that I would have that I have generally is when we have the only issue that I have is when we actually see persons that want to take a back seat and don't want to come to the front and have a political face or a political party's brand. But then they're still at the back, trying to compete for the various
Yeah,
political
yeah,
offices. So those are the things that I definitely do not support that. And that's just as a segue. But when it comes to actually going out there, joining protests and so forth, is extremely important. I've been on too many protest lines to remember.
yeah.
Sometimes
One
it
too
gets
many.
really dangerous, and we have to remind ourselves that we still have to remain safe, but we have to remind ourselves that we are there because there is a grouping of people that feels completely disenfranchised, and it is up to us as political representatives to go out there and show support for those persons. And I always encourage persons, everybody has a right to protest when they feel that they're being disenfranchised in some way, but we always encourage persons to make sure that we are doing it in a safe and civil manner. And we've been a part of so many protests before, like I said, Sharon. I think at one time it was just you and I in front of the embassy, and then you and I in front of
Yeah.
GPL and so forth. But it is necessary work
One
because
of the books, Ricky, feel free to jump in
yes,
Yeah, no,
anytime. One of the books I gotta write
agree-
later on in
I'm in
my life.
agreement. I'm in
I
agreement with
haven't been in
you.
enough. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
I'm in
Ricky, sorry.
agreement with Jurita because there's so much. I remember when COVID tried to restrict us. We put on our masks and we gone. You
Yes.
understand me? And everybody was scared and keep our distance. Look, we have been so many protests, and I remember the one with the not a blade of grass. I mean,
Correct, correct,
every things.
correct.
It's not an easy road. We didn't went through easy road. I mean, every day you're doing something until sometimes. I mean, despite this, we are family. We are family person. I know our family and children say when daddy coming home, when daddy coming home, when daddy's not there. You
That's
have
the
a little
sacrifice
daughter.
you make.
The daughter always check on the father more than anything in the world. You understand? And when she learn to pick up that phone and call, where are you? Oh, I'm at the protest, baby. I'm coming just now. These are the things, and it's so important. I'm sure Dee and I come back to the work as a politician, and as a young
Yeah,
politician, I think there were some questions on our chat here. What are the plans for the youth? When you look at us, I don't know what you see, and that's the question I keep asking people. When you look at us, what do you see? You understand me? And this is what we represent because it shows that the youth have a place in politics.
correct,
That is
correct,
what it is. And I will
correct.
challenge anybody about that. I'm very
And
passionate about
it's just some of what
You may be challenged back, Ricky,
it's just
because you may be
it's just
challenged
some
back.
of what it's just some of what we engage out there. This is the very,
Political
very
work.
able, the very, very able vice chair of Region 10. This is us going into the Burbis River to places like Hururu, Laudersville. And when we in this area, we always touch Kukwani because our hearts are there. Now, these are the times, again, you don't have to get an invitation as a political activist. If you on the ground, if you don't go missing, if you're on the ground and you pulse on what's happening in this country, right? And people know you have an interest. They will call you and says, you need it at Laudersville. This is an area in Region 10. You need it at Hururu. This is an indigenous settlement in Region 10. And Kokwani, of course. You have Araima and all of those places you needed. And sometimes I know our folks who enjoy our programs, they get vexed. The programs, when they come and they see no show, for instance. Sorry about that. When they come and they see no show, but sometimes you got to be boots on the ground as well. We can't just be politicians on social media. And I enjoy these moments when you're in a little rickety boat there in one of those rivers. It's just you and God. It's just you and God, and that is just one of those moments. I'm pressing on because we got some other things to cover as we transition to another aspect of the program. And I've had the privilege, like you, Jarita, like you, Ricky, Assistant General Secretary, Deputy General Secretary, and Vice Chair, respectively, of traveling the length and breadth of this country in the last 2 years, doing the work on the ground. Now, this is a place you would think is behind God's back in Karasabai. This is Region 9, but you got to travel for like 5 or 6 miles. This is South Pacaramas. I might be off. I think this is in the South Pacaramas, Karasabai, and we were meeting with party comrades in these far-flung parts of the country, and you try to do so many things as you're there. You go and you see government projects, and we were taking a look there at the Karasabai Secondary School as we were in the area, another stalled project. But this is the work we got to do, confronting the government about this spending, building the party all at the same time. And it's the work we have been committed to. I had some great folks showing me around the lovely, hardworking Ken Grant there in Region 9. And we got to go back because we got to touch places like Anai, and we go deep south, for instance. So much to see, party comrades waiting to see us, but we don't have enough boots on the ground because some people left and they come back, and some people not interested unless it's election time and all of that. But this is the work that is at hand and that we've been doing over the past 2+ years as we grew in the leadership of the Alliance for Change.
absolutely.
I
And
think I think that's I think that's if I can jump in here, I'll take the privilege of having the female voice in the middle. So I think based on all of the work was done, I think that is what was actually recognized, particularly when it comes to our groupings within the AFC, and I believe more significantly, your work has been recognized by none other than the leader of the Alliance of Change, Mr. Kemraj Ramjatan, because it was him that put that nomination in for you in the
Ever
grouping that
grateful.
he's a part of,
Ever grateful.
Georgetown there, and but to see that the leader of the Alliance of Change would step forward and say that he actually has placed the confidence in you, that you have been doing the work to take this party forward. And I keep telling persons, it's not about the glamour at the end of the day. It's about understanding the people on the ground to make sure that you can be able to make decisions that will benefit them. And I will reemphasize my point that I believe that you have to walk the walk, you have to walk the path, you have to understand the players, particularly the working class, and the majority of the members within the alliance, which is the vast majority of the membership within the alliance for change, comes from the working class. And I think it is our duty to make sure that we put a structure in place that will take them into consideration and put them at the forefront of our political movement, and not the other way around. So I think that is one of the things that I admire most about the work that has been done over the last years.
Yeah, as we wrap up and watch the program time in another 5 minutes or so, guys, what is important to you as we head into National Conference 2024, which is on the 29th day of June, is next week, Saturday? What's important to you as we head into this period? And what are you
Sharon,
telling delegates, for instance?
Sharon, first and foremost, I mean, Joita started the ball. I'm really honored and humbled to accept the nominations for the position of General Secretary of this Alliance of Change. I believe that this role presents a significant opportunity to serve the organization and its members effectively. And I believe I'm committed to fostering the unity that we spoke about and the communication and the organizational growth. And I look forward to working with the dedication and diligence to fulfill the responsibility at this important position. And that is what my message I wanted to tell and thank those persons who have nominated me and place a confidence in me as General Secretary. The road to national conference there, Sharad, as I said, the platform is set. All the work has been done. We worked almost 17, 18 hours. Today, how much? 18 hours we worked today to ensure that we put things in place. People don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. Our comrades don't know that. But here, those who are listening here should understand that what we are doing. And there's so many questions. Oh, what is happening? What is happening there? You know, we understand the questions when they come, but also ask the question, what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? And it's such a I mean, it's not the first national conference we were put under pressure, but it's an exciting journey. It will be exciting, and it will be a success. And that is where National Conference 2024 will be.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think the question was what is important to me at the end of national conference. And the Alliance to Change is a liberal democratic party, and we have been campaigning on the platform of unity, diversity. And so one of the most important things to me is for us to come out at the end of the national conference, actually portraying that which we preach. And I want to see the Alliance Change projecting the image of unity. I want to see the Alliance Change projecting the image of diversity. And one of the my key platforms that I'm campaigning on is to make sure that in the mix, when we look at diversity, we make sure that we do not basically shackle ourselves with a slate of leadership that does not have an understanding and appreciation for the working class within the party. I believe that it is my duty to make sure that I challenge any system or glass ceiling that has been put in place that is going to be a blockade for for the ordinary member to be able to climb to the whatever potential that their hard work would have afforded them. So those are some of the key things I want to see us accomplish there at the level at the end of the national conference. And I'm very confident, I have to say that I'm very confident that the AFC will come out strong. The AFC has oftentimes been not afraid of differences and differences in opinions and so forth. So we always try to set that standard. So when it comes to a diverse slate, it's important because this is a country that we live in. We are a diverse people. When it comes to the gender balance, is something that we have to going forward because we are that is what the country is. So we cannot go forward and pretend that men can speak for women or various ethnicities can speak on behalf for each other. We have to understand that persons need to be given an opportunity to speak. And I think that a lot of our the leaders out there would have told us prior, as we were even being nurtured within politics, that no one gives you a seat at the table. That is something that you have to demand. That is something that you have to fight for. And it's important for everyone from the different diversities to have that seat at the table so that we will have a very balanced representation of what Guyana is. And I think that that is my only hope that we will achieve at the end of this national conference right now.
Excellent. And for me personally, um, I want to see us elect people that have this party at heart. I want to see
Mhm.
that. I've seen some people only come alive around national conference time. They have an interest in group around national conference time in our groups, in our chapters, only at national conference time. They come around the party only around national conference. I want us to elect members, and I want people to offer themselves up for leadership if you know you can commit to this process. As I said, this is not a process you could take a month off or 2 years and come back and hope things are the way you left them. And things are always changing, fast changing. That's the environment in which we live. And I want to see people who are committed to helping us to build party groups, not only in places where they got limelight and so on, but in some far flung places in this country, not waiting for us, that needs to hear from us. I want to see that. And we build this party to match that structure there that we've been working on and envisaging, that we elect leaders that have this party at heart, to go the extra mile. Nobody should be able to come and pay $4,800 and walk away the whole political party. But you're there every day in the protests, you're there every day in the social issues, making your voice heard, lifting a placard here, representing an issue over there. You're in the mud. You're there when the folks from Hillfoot, are being bombarded. You're there when the folks from Cane View, they're being harassed by the government. You're there in success. I don't see a lot of people with us, but election time, they come around. I hope people who know they don't have the time and the energy, they don't have the passion for this work, would leave it alone and let those folks who really feel, empowered to do this work at this time in our political juncture, would step forward and say, I will serve in the offices of the Alliance for Change. I have an office there as General Secretary. I don't visit it very much. I visit the people outside, whether it's at Karasabai in Region 9, it's in Hururu in Region 10, it's in Region 7 where you are, Jarita. It's at the border. What's the name of that area? Ittering Bang. It's
Bang.
Right.
where we gotta go to where the people are. It's the many places in Region 6 that we've been to, uh, tons of time, and grateful for the support we have there. It's in
Put
Region
Morant.
5. That is the office. That is where we ought to go, and not go missing in action. This is what we got to do if we want to build this party that belongs to us. And that is what I want to see come out of National Conference 2024, that we have people who are empowered to come and to build on what we have done. I don't want to be leader for life. I don't want to be general secretary for life. And that is why I'm endorsing you, Ricky, for general secretary. That's why I'm endorsing Jarita for chairman of the Alliance for Change, because I know I've worked with you all over the last 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, and I know you all have what it takes to do the work in this party and to lift this party up, from stage to stage. And I think we're right where we ought to be in this juncture of our
Sharad,
party history.
Sharad, we are not messiahs, if that is what you wanted to say. We are not messiahs. We're not
No, no, no.
messiahs.
Together we got to do it. No one person can do it. Together
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
going to do this thing. And
Teamwork.
I
Yeah.
think that is the team we've exemplified with the other persons who stand behind us and ensure that we have the resources we need, and we are fully equipped, and we are fired up and ready to go. Unfortunately, that's the program tonight. 59 minutes, 12 seconds and counting. Jarita, you have the final word. Ladies, ladies.
Well, it was an absolute pleasure to have this conversation with you guys. I know we're going to be having some more of these talks before we actually um, reach the end of the road, rather, to our National Conference 2024. And it's always going to be very enlightening for persons to be speaking here, for persons to understand where we came from, particularly our political journey altogether. And I probably will be taking some questions from some of the viewers, because I do know that they have been
Next
asked
show.
questions. So the next time we definitely will aim to take
Next
some
show.
questions from you
Yeah, we can have
guys,
a couple of them
and
called.
and that
Right?
would be how we move forward. So thank you so
Bantu
much.
King says that when we don't have a show because we're visiting some part of this country, we get discombobulated when there's no
Mm.
show. Thank you very much, Bantu King. And as we close, folks, I want to leave you with this report that I had made. You know, when you go in these places like Letem, people tell you what's happening. And one of the concerns with residents in Letem months ago, before the onset of the rainy season, was the Parara crossing, the Parara bridge. And they told us, they said, Sharon, if these people don't fix this bridge and fix it quick, it's problems in the rainy season. And they were absolutely right. When we were on site, we didn't find a contractor. The residents took us there. I didn't find a contractor, right? And they said we have some problems. Now they're spending millions of dollars, to have a temporary access area because the bridge was flooded. The area was impassable. So they have to spend millions of dollars to have a temporary path over this area, and then to actually fix the bridge that they should have fixed months ago. But this is what I saw when I was on the ground, and I made this report as we close. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you, guys.
To the
Take care.
Para Bridge crossing here in Region 9. President Irfan Ali, in his 2024 New Year's message, said we will see a robust plan to further advance the security, architecture, and infrastructure of our communities and country. In another statement on social media, the head of state says, as a government, they will continue to work around the clock to bring continued progress, development, and prosperity home in our country. If the Parara Bridge in Letem is what the vehicle of progress looks like, somebody must be asleep at the wheels. The 200 feet long Parara Bridge in Letem is rightly being replaced by a modern structure. Rehabilitation of the bridge is costly, and the critical link has collapsed many, many times over the years. In 2021, for instance, repairs to the bridge cost $17 million, and businesses which depend on the trail route to bring their commodities saw millions of dollars in losses as traffic is badly delayed when the bridge is inoperable. The Parara Bridge links North and South Rupununi and allows goods and services to be available to residents of the region. The challenges to the bridge are now man-made. The new structure is not only behind time, work on the bridge has come to a complete standstill. Residents who spoke with our publication told us that this has been the state of affairs going on 9 months now, and they are very worried about the delay, the long stall, as the rainy season approaches. The Parara Bridge is suffering from the same delay and stall that besets so many hurriedly conceptualized programs and poorly executed projects in Guyana. Sabrok newspapers just over the last weekend pointed to delays in the Cemetery Road and Conversation Tree expansion projects in Georgetown, the Schooner to Crane Bypass, West Demerara, the Linden Mubroa Highway, and the new Demerara Harbor Bridge. Guyana's largest infrastructure investment to date, the Wales Gas to Shore project, and its own delays is a constant source of worries for Guyanese. The newspaper said the project appears to be the brainchild of the Vice President Barry Jaglio, who unfortunately has a penchant for botched brainchilds. From the Skeleton Sugar Factory, which sunk Isuko, to the Chedijagan International Airport, which has taken some 11 years to complete. It is anyone's guess as to the fate of the Parara Bridge in Letem, Region 9. That's all from us at this end. Until our next broadcast. And that is the work we do out there, folks, day after day, advancing issues in this country, in this nation. And then you go, you talk with residents, you talk with party members, and then you translate that into National Assembly and says, what are y'all doing here? How are y'all spending the money in this country like this? Abandoned projects way behind schedule. These are all things we keep advancing on a daily basis, and we don't have any time to take time off, take a couple of years off, and then come back. This is the work we have to keep doing every day. And that's why I'm running for leader of the Alliance for Change. Thanks for joining us. That's our time. That's our program. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe.